Jets face the Cowboys. This game is Saturday, people. Do not get caught off guard. This is a Saturday night game that is called Thursday Night Football.
Yes.
It is Thursday Night Football. That's what they call it.
Wow.
When you watch the game on Saturday, it will be introed as Thursday Night Football.
Is that real?
That is real.
It is, because Thursday Night Football is
the brand.
It's a yeah, exactly.
Come on.
I never watched TJIF on Saturday. Come on.
Well,
I didn't ever watch Snick on Friday.
Yeah.
The point is you're going to be really confused about what day it is. Even more so when you hear the introduction to the show. The Jets take on the Cowboys. I want to talk. Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker are locked and loaded.
Correct.
In fact, something interesting I saw last week about Brandon Marshall. He was the third fastest speed measured last week.
Ooh. Marshall still got it.
Now, the top two was the same guy.
Who?
On 2 plays. And his name is Ted Ginn Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty fast.
But Marshall on that broken play actually hit the third fastest miles per hour in those next-gen stats, which was kind of interesting because he still got it, is my point. All right, so Ryan Fitzpatrick, we all like him as a start this week.
I love him this week.
It goes beyond like for Mike.
Yes.
It goes to love.
Yes.
I've got a healthy like for him this week. You know, the question mark for me in this game is which Cowboys are going to show up. The Cowboys that have been playing...
That lose by 30 or lose by 4? No.
No, I mean, the Cowboys have been in most games all year because of their defense.
Yep.
And their defense has been very good. Now, they're out of the running. All their dreams and hopes of, hey, if we win, we're just one game back, that's crushed. That's gone. And we saw last week, they didn't really show up. And so if that's the new Cowboys that come out and say, look, this year's over... You know, we're not excited. We're not playing with all of our energy. We're not trying to save our team with our defense to get Tony Romo back. Then the Jets are going to go hog wild because they have to win out to get in, assuming, they're going against the Steelers and they don't have the tiebreaker. So I'm very interested to see which defense is going to show up for the Cowboys tonight. If I had to pick, I'm picking the one that phones it in, and I expect big things from
What about
Jets.
the game on Saturday, though?
On Saturday.
Let's confuse them even more.
Some interesting stuff here for Darren McFadden, Darren McFadden, for me, for weeks, has been an auto start because of volume. And you look back at what happened last week, very interesting. Darren McFadden got the majority of the snaps, 77% of the snaps, yet he only ran the ball 9 times. And he got 2 targets.
Guess who had 7 carries?
And I was just going to say, on 10 snaps, a guy who got 7 carries and looked okay, Mr. Robert Turbin. So for me, there's a little bit of concern here for the Darren McFadden volume play.
There's a lot of concern.
Especially against the Jets. It's already a bad matchup. So Darren McFadden is not an automatic start for me.
He was your sit of the week, right?
He was mine. He was mine.
Yes, okay.
Which I love it.
The Jets are the number 1 rushing defense right now, and now they get to go up against Matt Castle. Matt Castle completed 13 of 29 passes in week number 14.
Man, do I love the Jets defense.
I love the Jets defense. Absolutely. Mike, are you starting them in your consolation ladder?
I am. And I'm also starting them in my money league, so you guys can eat it.
Hey, by the way, don't play Dez Bryant.
Yeah.
He is my sit of the week.
You can't do it.
He's still a guy that could go out and have a fine game, but I'm fine having that game on my bench because more often than not, the rest of the way here, with Castle throwing the ball and him not looking like the same Dez Bryant, he's going to be putting up turds.
Oh, man.
The Bills
man.
The Bills at the Redskins. What do we think about this game?
It's a game.
All right, it's a game. The Bills, obviously, you have Tyrod Taylor. How do you feel about him against the Redskins in Washington this week?
I feel pretty good about Tyrod Taylor. He's been getting back on track where he didn't give you the monster game last week. The connection with him and Watkins is really starting to develop, which is fantastic news for his outlook. But the problem with Taylor is the throwing attempts. If he's not getting you the touchdowns on his lower volume of passing, then he's giving you just an average game. So is he an automatic in guy for me? No, not necessarily. I think I have him as a lower 1. I would still. He's still an okay option for me.
Let me see some
let
of
me
the
pull up my rankings.
Yeah, I was going to say I want to see some guys that you have around Taylor, because if people are making streaming decisions this week, I want them to know kind of where you have him laid out.
So I have Fitzpatrick ahead of him. Right now,
that makes sense.
Right now, I actually have Taylor a couple spots ahead of Big Ben. I think I'm going to take a look. I'll take a closer look at that. I'm not sure I would be willing to pull that trigger.
I have Matthew Stafford 1 spot ahead of Tyrod Taylor.
I believe I've got Taylor the highest this week. I think that what you mentioned a second ago, that connection starting to heat up with him and Sammy Watkins with the Redskins, I think he's a safe play, especially because he gets 50 yards on the ground every week. So his floor is something that should be okay against the Redskins in this matchup. But his ceiling, I mean, I know he doesn't have as many attempts, but he has several games with 3 touchdowns. He can run in a touchdown. So I like this matchup quite a bit for him. I would play him over Fitzpatrick, who I like. I've got him ahead of Derek Carr and Matthew Stafford. So to me, Tyrod Taylor is one of the stronger streams this week.
Are you guys as scared of Deshaun Jackson as I am in this game?
Yeah, coming off of his injury of maybe he's going to play, maybe he's not going to play. That's not a situation where I'm comfortable playing a guy his game is built on the speed and the long ball. Sure, he's been getting some more targets closer to the line of scrimmage, but for a guy who you want that big play, and he's saying he's hurt, he's not a guy I want to start.
If you're starting a Redskins running back because you've been depleted with the Rawls injury and these other the Stewart injury, you are starting a guy whose name begins with
Matt Jones.
It's Matt Jones,
Okay.
but it's probably that coin you flip, the heads I win, tails you lose type of a coin.
Yeah.
Heads you lose, tails you lose.
Yeah.
probably.
If you're starting Matt Jones, you're probably in the consolation bracket. Either now or next week.
I don't know, man. I'm starting Fozzie Whitaker against you.
Oh, that is true.
There's a lot of people who Thomas Rawls carried through and got enough done last week.
I like the comment that somebody made on our poll on Twitter where it said Fozzie Whitaker versus Tim Hightower. It's face off, because we've got like this pretty strong monster roster, and then you get down to our RB2 and it's Fozzie versus Hightower. Whew.
Just like we all thought.
Yeah.
In the beginning of 2008. Those guys might have been on the same roster in 2008. Fozzie Whitaker started he was playing for the Cardinals preseason.
Was he really?
Yes, he was.
Wow.
And if I'm wrong about that, I'm sure I will hear about it on Twitter, but I'm pretty sure he played at some point in time on our practice squad.
There you go.
So okay, other relevant, LaShawn McCoy's out there. Carlos Williams is expected to be back this week, but I'm not worried about him at all. You saw last week even, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Gillisley?
Oh, the backup running back? Yeah.
He scored, is my point. You still got a few carries to him. They'll go to Carlos Williams, and I'm not starting any backup there, obviously.
Yeah, Shady's tearing it up.
And then Rule 86, locked and loaded.
Absolutely.
Stick him out there. Jordan Reed. Chiefs face the Ravens in what I expect to be a lower scoring game. Matt Schaub, like I said, likely to start. Not a game that I'm worried about Alex Smith in at all. I think Alex Smith was my stream of the week.
He was. You staying on board?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like Alex Smith this week. He doesn't throw interceptions. The Ravens their interception rate is the worst of any team since the 70s. I'm not expecting this game to be disrupted by turnovers that somehow make it a more competitive matchup against the Ravens. I do expect the Ravens to play hard. They're well coached. They still go out and fight. And with with Matt Schaub back, maybe they're a little bit more efficient in the passing game than they would have been with Clausen, even with the interceptions. That being said, love the Chiefs D. They're an elite option for you this week. But I don't know about Travis Kelce, and a lot of people don't know about Travis Kelce. You still want to believe the upside is there, but with somebody like Jordan Reed, you've seen him put up 2 touchdown games. You've seen him have a baseline. Kelce, 2 touchdowns seems like an impossibility right now.
The difference between Travis Kelce and Jordan Reed is targets. It's not necessarily the talent level. I think Jordan Reed, if you're just going talent, Kelce and Jordan Reed are actually among the elites of tight end. But can somebody get him the ball, please? Alex Smith, and Coach Reed, get Travis Kelce some targets. But until that happens, he has to be looked at as a lower end starter at this point,
Well,
which is just infuriating.
And
to
the
me.
Ravens are very good against the tight end. They have been
that too.
all year long, and they're very bad against the wide receivers. That's just such a combination that keeps tight end scoring low against this team. Travis Kelce on all three of our lists is quite low this week, and if you've got another good option, like that Jordan Reed, I would start him over him. The biggest question mark in this game to me by far, it all comes down to where, because Charcandrick West at the running back position is a guy, and I want to know if you guys have the same opinion that I do, but the way that I look at this matchup, if Ware is out, West is a great play. And if Ware is in, I don't really want West in my lineup, or Ware.
I do not have that opinion.
Okay, so you are, I'm guessing, on board with West either way?
That is right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think West represents actually, I don't have him ranked super high, but I think he's one of those guys where, you kind of rank him where you think they'll end up, but he has this larger upside to me where he could have a really, really good game this
Very
week.
similar to Mike Evans, what I was saying. I marked him where I thought he would end up, but he's got potential for a blow-up game. The problem is just, when he started taking over, he was getting, 20-plus carries a game, and then as soon as Ware came back, now it's like 9 or 10. And so, you're talking literally half of the production opportunity. So that's where I just see what's happened since Ware's been involved, and I don't like it. So
he did have a 57-yard touchdown callback last week on penalty, so he still has some of the. But I understand they might not need to really air it out much in this game, but I like West with some upside this week.
I have no problem with West, especially with Ware being banged up and the running back situation where it is of all the guys who have gotten hurt. I think West is still an upper level option, like West or guys you just picked up, West or Denard Robinson.
I would play West.
Yeah, And
I would play West as well.
That's what I mean. Like the guys in Seattle, the guys in Carolina.
But this is a great example of just where I'm coming from. I've got West right now ranked as my 10th running back because I statted him without statting Ware because Ware completely missed practice yesterday. He wasn't involved at all, wasn't even a limited participant. So if that continues and Ware is out, man, I love West. But if Ware is back, I would start Denard Robinson over West. I've got Denard as my 14th running back.
Yeah, I'm more basing the Ware stuff on he's going to be limited if he plays because of pain tolerance, rib injury, things like that. But hey, this is called forecasting for a reason. It's because we don't know how it's gonna play out. We don't, and so we have to play what we know right now. Jeremy Maclin, very confident in starting Maclin.
Very confident. I am the anti-Macklin guy through the year, but I think this matchup,
you're also going to be the wet guy.
Yeah,
because I'm going to win that bet.
Probably, unless he gets injured.
So, oh my God.
Oh, come on now.
I'm just saying.
So just so people
know.
You're
telling me there's a chance.
So just so people know, the bet was
1,000 yards on the season
for Jeremy Maclin. He is presently at 935 yards.
And he's got 3 weeks to do it.
3 weeks left.
So it's going to happen without an injury.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't get hurt.
It looked, I mean, you rewind the tape.
He could go on a stretch like he had in the middle of the year.
I don't like Buck Allen.
I don't
know.
And I don't feel confident enough with Kamar Aiken to start him. There is a place where I would start Kamar Aiken, but I don't feel that good about it in this matchup.
I feel okay about it. It's. I don't think it's the worst.
Buck Allen last week against a good defense in Seattle was terrible. Now, if you were in a point per reception or a half point per reception, he just kind of was bad.
Pretty terrible.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, at least he got 5 receptions and he got some points, but he was garbage against them for the most part. And I think Kansas City is a better defense against the run. So I don't like Buck Allen at all.
Yeah. I mean, Mike was right. He's gonna have a level of baseline. Schaub got him 8 catches a couple weeks ago.
12. 12 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm sorry, 12 catches a couple of weeks ago. So there's going to be a baseline for him. It's just, can he do anything with those? We'll see what happens. I'd start a lot of guys over him. He was a sit of the week this week.